Quiet on the set. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Dear Myrtle, your friend in genealogy. Welcome to Myrt's Book Club. Brand new thing to be doing in 2025. And it looks like Deneen is here. Thank you, Deneen, for coming on over. And Flo is here. And Betty Lou managed to come over here. We got about 17 people here, according to a little number that StreamYard gives me. But go ahead and say hello. And we're going to talk about what to do at book club, okay? And first of all, I'd like to welcome my first panelist here, the greatest neighbor in the world. We both moved away from that neighborhood, Maria.
I know, it's so sad. Well, it's been good for both of us, so.
Yeah, it's been, change is always good. Rattles our cages, and I'm surprised in all the packing and unpacking, all the stuff that we downsized or thought we downsized, and I've had to buy some things because, yeah, I shouldn't have downsized. I need that chafing dish kind of thing. Silly old me. Okay, so we have Linda Stufflebean and Monique is here, and Karen is here. Thank you so much. All right, so I want to talk to you about what the plan is. You all were successful in making the transition over here from Mondays with Myrt. It was a little sticky wicket for me because I didn't really get a break, but this saves me the fact that we have 2 separate video recordings. It saves me from having to remove it from an add-on at the end of Mondays with Myrt, and then try to upload the file because I have very poor internet here, and it would take me days to upload book club, and I want people to be able to see it immediately thereafter, have the transcript, and no problems.
Can I just say,
huh?
I'm actually really excited to learn this new platform, so I'm glad you're doing it this way.
Yeah, StreamYard gives us all kinds of different layouts where, I can be doing a screen share and then switch to just talking to you and me, and it's just a click away. It's not a big, hairy deal. That's the fun of StreamYard, but it's also cloud-based, so normally I don't get bumped, although I got bumped twice. All right, so here is the plan. Let me share my screen a little bit differently. Okay, so on Mondays with Myrt, we talk about anything and everything, and you know that I love to have feedback from those of you who are on the YouTube side. Melinda made it, Cindy made it, Ellen made it. Now, Ellen's one of my regular panelists, and any one of you can decide to become a panelist. I will give you the link to join as a panelist. I would like you to be here at least once a month. This is the, I will give you that link in a minute. You're not expected to be here every time, Maria. I realize you're moving. You've been living temporarily while your house is built. Yeah, let me find the link so that it's the link for joining, or it's a form. Ellen, tell them what it's like to fill out the form to become a panelist. Just type it in. Yeah. Okay. The concept here with these books that we're going to be discussing is not to go as in-depth as we've done in previous Dear Myrtle study groups. Why? Because some really good study groups for these 2 books by Dr. Thomas W. Jones have come to the forefront in the meantime. I think Cousin Russ and I started doing study groups before anybody else did and make them public. This study group is not a study group, it's a book club. So we might take 3 or 4 chapters out of a book at a time. In fact, on the documentation book, which we're starting after March, there is 1 week where there's 4 chapters we may refer to. So you at least know the title of the chapter, which gives you an idea of the content. Melinda says the form was very easy to fill out. Simple little questions. I want to know if you've had any experience being in StreamYard or Zoom, or if you were using StreamYard. My purpose today now is to prepare us for going forward. And the first concern I have is that we observe copyright. So we're not going to be using the examples and do the workbook homework. This is a workbook, literally, by Dr. Jones. We're not going to use those examples. We're going to talk about the example that a concept from a chapter might have, we can illustrate it with our own research sample, our own document, our own way of dealing with it, or that we had problems in our research. And if we applied a concept that Dr. Jones talked about, then maybe this will have happened, or you can share that process with us. So that's the kind of work that we're doing. Ellen says she already has both books, but only one in Arizona. You don't need to get mastering genealogical documentation until April. That's when we'll start using that particular book. So let me share my screen and show you what homework will look like. I can pull that up. Okay, here we are in Microsoft Word. You can, let me turn that off so you can see it. The cover page of every bit of homework is for the benefit of people who haven't been following along and might come in late February, and because of the topic at hand, that's where they discovered book club, and so they don't understand the rules that for copyright that we're observing, or that the attendees, this is their orientation, and that we are using the book for inspiration, and that we are observing copyright, and that the opinions are expressed by, in this case today, me and Maria. These are strictly our own opinions, and it does not mean that the publisher or the author is endorsing us. Now, I will say that I'm really pleased that when I had Dr. Jones sign my book, he thanked me. We may cite a sentence or a chapter, a sentence from a chapter with the book title, author, publication date, the normal citation work that we do. And here is the link for perspective panelists. So if any of you want to become a panelist, I can have a maximum of 10 of you in the wings, 12 in the wings. And of those, I can only pull up 10, like I do during Mondays with Myrt, only pull up 10 at a time. So like right now, it's just me and Maria. So the other thing is, since I'm not expecting you to be here every time, you might elect, because of your schedule, and you see my schedule of which what we're planning to discuss each week, you may decide, okay, I've got to take this trip, so I'm going to do it and miss this one because it's that third meeting where I really have some input to provide. Now, talking about input is challenging because you saw this morning during Mondays with Myrt, most of you were there, I see. Alex and I had a long conversation, but I couldn't actually stop because it was necessary, and we were entertaining questions from the participants. So there will be occasions where I may not get to your homework to discuss it with you. Yeah. That doesn't mean I didn't like your homework. I do want to have your homework, though, at least by Sunday morning, so that I can look at it Sunday when that's my day of rest. I don't normally have company. Sometimes a little redheaded girl and her mama come, but that's the plan, is that, and I only want a cover sheet like this. The only graphic you'll use will be your own, except for this cover of the book that we're using as inspiration. And then your homework, I had you add your name here and the date, because then I won't mix up your homework with one from another week. But your actual homework would look like this, where you have your name, and it's optional if you put your contact information. Like one of the things that happened yesterday, or yesterday, seems like forever, earlier today with Alec, people wanted his contact information, and he didn't mind sharing it publicly. He was showing us a document with his address. Um, I protect your right to privacy. That is one of the basic fundamental principles of the genealogical proof standard, as codified by the Board for Certification of Genealogists. So we're going to be observing right to privacy, all the usual and customary things. But we want to have a conversation and look at your document. And Maria and I in the green room spend a little time sharing. She's going to get a third screen, guys. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. She just
Well, I
beamed.
had one, but in this rental space, I just haven't set it up.
Yes, you sold your house, moved to southern Utah, in our building, and your kitchen cabinets are in. So you're getting close.
We are.
All right. So what? So Maria wanted to be able to share her screen, and we practiced this. And you would just replace this text with your comments, and then on the next page, the document that you're talking about, or the photo of the ancestor that you're talking about, or a map of where they used to live, or whatever. Because people relate better in conversations to graphics rather than all kinds of gobbledygook text. Now, we need the gobbledygook text because that is you as a participant doing homework, writing your written conclusion, composing your written conclusion. And I don't know about you, Maria, but when I write something down to so that I could like explain something to you, in that process, I figure out, oh, wait, I forgot to do this other thing.
It's a great methodology.
Yeah, I could see where my holes are in my research. Hi, Hillary. Hillary says, I was a member of the study group previously, and we did 3 Mastering Genealogical Proof study group series, 2 that were somewhat US centric, and then I decided to do one that was British centric. And Hillary has just been a great support. Yeah. Thanks for the comment about Mondays with Myrt. He could have gone on and on. He was so generous, Alec Ferretti, with his expertise on the Burrells database. Okay. And you see, I love to bring in the comments from people here. It's so easy with StreamYard. Okay. So that's what our homework will look like. Let me go back and share this. Okay. So remember, you're going to change the name and date and put the chapter information on your homework. You may change your page number and the chapter title. So these 2 things may be changing, but and as well as this, and your name and date. And I've already created a private secret Facebook group, which is my way of having a back channel communication with those specific panelists. So I've had one for every separate panel for my various study groups that Cousin Russ and I did in the past, as well as for Mondays with Myrt. And there are a lot more Mondays with Myrt panelists in that group than show up. Like, for instance, Daniel Loftus was on leave, so he could finish doing his actual course study work at the I say university. I don't know what university it was. Hillary says she still has homework that she did somewhere. And in fact, you can share that homework again when we get to that chapter if you like, Hillary. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay, you can just jump in and raise your hand or what. There's no hand to raise in StreamYard. You just kind of have to wave to me, Maria.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt, so.
No, you can interrupt. I'm used to that. No, not from you, but anyway. I'm going to try to figure out what to do with the homework. And in fact, I want to talk to my panelists about it. What I've done in the past is I aggregated them and then made them available as a Google document compiled together. And then I would add the link in the comments so that you could kind of follow along. The challenge is you'd have to be willing to share that as a panelist, and you might not be willing to have it be part of that. I don't know. Yeah.
But this first page here, or the blank page.
Yes.
Are you going to put that out there on the Facebook page, or are you going to email it?
Already in your private Facebook group.
Okay.
Yeah. I already created that for panelists. All of this stuff is there. All of the links, everything that I'm trying to talk about. But I want to pull up another Word document and talk to everyone, because this is something that we need to think about all the time anyway, because as we're doing our homework or our genealogical research, we need to be citing the sources in detail now while we're doing that research, as opposed to trying to reconstruct it later on. And so I'm trying to teach share a good research principle to cite as you go. I think some people call it cite as you write, even if you don't find anything. But in this, what we have are an example of, it could be the author or creator, as Elizabeth Shown Mills likes to say. Title is alphabetized, and this is a full first citation that you'd want to do. And then insert the in parentheses the publication location, which is tricky because the National Genealogical Society is totally virtual now. They don't have an office. But when you look at a book, it's the copyright is here. And if I put Arlington, Virginia, which is where NGS used to be, that wouldn't work. But at least get that publication information in there. So it's Thomas W. Jones, but the publication year, somebody said, I think I have an old copy. Well, I don't think there's an updated version. We're just working out of this 2013 version of Mastering Genealogical Proof. And then the essential page number. I am not a stickler for commas, etc. Just get it there. And the reason I say that is not being disrespectful about the need for accurate citation, but for the fact that you're submitting for publication with Myrt with your homework, but you're not submitting it to NGSQ or HistGen's record. Each of those editors has different opinions about how they want their citations crafted. So I want you to make a first full citation all the time when we're doing our research, even when we're doing a book club meeting. And it can always be tweaked as is necessary if you decide to get published with NGS or something like that. Okay.
I think citing as you go is a gift to yourself. It's a gift to your future self.
Absolutely. And then it's no matter. Oh, I remember the early days. I'd see something in a book and I'd copy the page of the book. And if it didn't have the title of the page and the page number on it, I mean the title of the book, I would not know. I was just happy I found something that had my Conrad Weiser on the page. Now I know to copy the title page. This is if I had to get a hard copy in a library. And the copyright, which is usually on the back. And then you have to deal with the abbreviations because you can never remember the abbreviations later. Maria, Ellen agrees with you on that.
I am grateful when I've done it, and I kick myself. My future self is so angry with my past self when I don't.
I hear you. So, Nancy, you won't get the private Facebook group unless you are a panelist. That's our private communication, so that if Maria says, I can't come this next Monday because I have to take my husband to the doctor, something like that. That's where that communication happens, not publicly. And you post your homework in that private group. And then I can compile it and make a Google document. And that's what I'll do by Sunday evening. And I will tend to put them in the order that makes sense. And I will not assign a chapter to anyone. I mean, there will be an assignment of these are the 2 chapters we're looking at next week, chapters 1 and 2, by the way. But there are many points in each chapter. And Cousin Russ said, let's see what happens. And invariably, people chose, or they maybe twice out of all the study groups and all the years that we did it, did somebody pick the same subtopic out of a chapter as another panelist. But they had completely different takes on the subject. So I'm not worried because by the time, I'm not worried. Let's put it that way. Do you have to have Facebook to participate? Well, that's our back channel communication. That's where I give you the link to join because there's a different panelist link every time. I don't know how else you could submit your homework to me because I'm not willing to have email come to me with an attachment. I don't know if you have a virus. And I'm not saying you got a virus, Flo. I'm saying when it comes through another service, I guess I could have you upload it to Google Drive. You have Gmail. Well, consider alternatives. You might have to talk with me. But I can't be texting everybody personally. I guess I could send you an email with the link, but my usual modus operandi is to put the link in the Facebook private group where people send their homework. And that's our main back channel communication. And I also put the link for getting into StreamYard in a Facebook private message, which is that texting service. Sometimes I don't have cell phone service. Anyway, all right, that was a good question. What did you say? So Ellen is, we don't know where we found it. Can't find where we found it. Yeah, that goes back to let's copy the front matter of a book. If we are not using books that frequently, but it's really important to do it. I do expect those of you who are my previous panelists who are sharing homework they've submitted previously to check all your links, because the database may have changed its location at Answer for Your Family Search. And I want to be able to click and pull it up and zoom in. So I'm trusting my regular tried and true panelists. Check those links. Yeah, okay. Any other questions? All right. When I did this in the past, I was very careful to, in our very first study group, I can't remember what it was. It was something of, I can't even remember what our first one was about. After that first session, I realized, yeah, it was this book of Dr. Jones's. I realized we were going to be infringing on copyright because this is a publicly available um, um, meeting. It's recorded. People can see it afterwards. And so Cousin Russ and I met with the legal genealogist to discuss copyright issues. And that's where she advised us, you could quote a sentence and you can say this book has inspired you, but don't use those samples. Let people do their own. That I had about come to that possibility of a suggestion for a different reason. Not for copyright, but because my panelists could then be very excited about that principle that Dr. Jones had mentioned in the book because it influenced their own research or it impacted their own research, or because they were reading the chapter, then they went and tried something based on that inspiration and they had a breakthrough. And that's a compelling story. That's what convinces people to use that principle that Dr. Jones was suggesting. So, yeah. So this, so I'm hoping that as that, yes, I'm planning that every panelist that I'll be able to compile those into one Google document. I'll take your Microsoft Word. If it's a Google Doc, be sure that I have editor rights so that I can copy it and rearrange if necessary. I put it in Microsoft Word and then upload it to Google Drive, and that's what we share with everybody. Okay, so now we've got that. All right. Is there anything else that I should have said? Let me show you what we're planning to discuss. And this is, okay, here's our calendar. Am I sharing my screen? No, I need to do that. And so I shall. 1 second. Okay. So book club, the first week was this one where I knew I'd do most of the talking, and I really don't want to do most of the talking. It's when you hear it from Maria or Hillary or Ellen or somebody else, it may be more convincing. It's another voice in the wilderness of how the heck do we climb this family tree. So next week, we're tackling chapters 1 and 2, Genealogy Standard of Proof, and the concepts fundamental to the GPS, which are, the reasonably exhaustive research, etc., resolving conflict. And then we'll go through some very interesting additional chapters. In March, I'm planning to be in person at Roots Tech, so I can do Mondays with Myrt live from the Glass Enclosed Nerve Center at the Family History, no, I mean, now I have to say Family Search Library in downtown Salt Lake City. So barring any oddities, we will not be having book club that week. And I've learned from experience that the written conclusion chapter, which talks about proof statement, proof summary, and proof arguments, the 3 levels of challenges in your written conclusion, probably will take 2 weeks. And so I've given myself some leeway there. Then when we start again in April, I can do a call for panelists. We can have new panelists. Some of you can hold over if you wish to when we start dealing with the mastering genealogical documentation. But on the very first meeting on the 14th of April, it will be just like this, where we talk about the plan and copyright, and that your homework is going to be at least 3 pages. The first is the cover sheet, and the others are your write-up, and then a full page of whatever document or photo. You know, you could have more than one page because we're sharing the homework digitally. I'm just saying, write up a paragraph or a couple of sentences on page 2, and page 3 is full page the document. All right, I'm getting all kinds of text messages. All right, are there any other questions? Maria, do you have any?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I'm excited.
I have a feeling that we're going to have a few more people joining the panel because they're telling us in the chat that they're planning to do that. Now, this should only take 30 to 45 minutes. We're not doing it real in depth. That's why your homework is not 3 or 4 pages long of the write-up part with tiny little graphics. I want really big graphics if possible. And anything else from the attendees? Okay. All right. One of the things that I will do is show you, if I can get onto Facebook, I'll show you what that panelists only group looks like, just to give you guys a chance here to consider. Oh, here it is. Let me pull it over. So this group, this is it. Right now there's just me and Maria. And here you will know me as Pat Erickson. I am using that now occasionally. I got a little scared toward the end of December when I couldn't post on Facebook, even in my own group, but that got resolved. But I have this, so I'm either Pat Richley Erickson or Pat Erickson, otherwise known as Old Myrt here. All right, so this is what it looks like. I've made a summary of all the posts that are relevant, which they are, and they should be under comments. And where is it? Didn't come through yet. All right, I will work on that. Here's the sample heading homework document that you can save, Maria. And so each panelist will have access to that. Here is how to submit homework. Now, I was going to tell you how to submit it to Google Drive, but I'm going to have you submit it here. So I'm going to edit this. Here for the 20th of January. Okay. And then here's the schedule of what it is we're working on through March. And I've given you a sample of the citation format and everything. You might want to take that copy and paste and print it out so you know what chapters we're on each month or each week. We got 2 weeks in between, which is better than our other study groups. We did them every week, and that was hard. Okay, here's some advice from StreamYard if you're new to it. But Maria, you didn't have any trouble coming in, did you?
No, but I watched that for a little bit. I mean, I went through and read their advice. So
I had given you this link already.
Yep.
Well, wasn't I wonderful?
You're amazing, as always. Best mentor ever.
Well, you're the best neighbor ever, and I've always said that. People may use the Kindle app if they wish. Here's the link. I'll send it out to everybody. You can get the book in Kindle. Oh, I said I was going to do a giveaway, so let's go do that. Is there anybody out there that needs the book? Mastering Genealogical Proof. Let me go find what I've got here. And then we'll go. All righty, let me pull this over. And I'll pull up the giveaway. And you'll need to just do Myrt's Book Club. No. Here's the giveaway tool.
So you want people to write Myrt's Book Club in the comments?
Yeah, with the hashtag. Why is that happening? Okay. I will get the link. I love life. Sorry, I had it.
Which link do you want?
Okay, Luana, when you do a hashtag for the giveaway, wait a minute. It has to be Myrt's Book Club, all squished together. Give me a minute. I cannot get there from here today for some reason. So let me copy that, go here, pull it up, and I will show you in big. It's not loading. What it's doing is making me go open another StreamYard, and I don't want to do that. Okay. It's going to give me a hard time. Let me just do it this way. Okay, because it's just, there we go. Okay, and I want the giveaway page. Okay, choose a live stream. Here we are. Okay, and the hashtag is okay, let's do that. And I will share my screen. Okay, so can we see that? No. There we go. That's what the hashtag needs to be. So I have one entry so far. Okay. Myrt's Book Club. So Luana, you did it. Okay, anybody else? There we go. Yeah. And then I'll type in my email address. Okay. Because whoever the winner is, so I know a lot of you already have this book. Yeah, no spaces, Myrt's, no apostrophe. It's hashtag or that £, Myrt's Book Club, all squished together, no spaces. Okay, Cindy, you did an N instead of an M. It's right next door. It's okay, guys. I'm so proud of all of you that got over here. Thank you. Okay. We'll give Cindy a chance. Okay. I don't see her typing it in. You have to type in £. There, you got it. Okay. So now we'll do the drawing. And remember, DearMYRTLE@gmail is who you need to write to. Let's see who wins. Yay, Bobby. Okay, Bobby, you'll need to write to Myrt@DearMYRTLE.com. And you need to tell me if you'd like the Kindle version or the paperback version. And I'll need your address if you want the paperback version. Okay. If you live out of the US, I don't think you do. I recognize your name. Yeah, congratulations. I misspelled, no, that was Melinda misspelling. DearMYRTLE@gmail.com. Okay, that's cool. I'm more than happy to share it and give it to you. Have a little education fund. All right, folks. Well, thank you, Maria, for being here with me today and for figuring out that the form worked. Apparently now other people are going to be joining us in 2 weeks. Our next meeting is the 20th of January, just like this, in a new live stream at Dear Myrtle Archive on YouTube. And thank you so much for being here, everybody. Nothing left to say, but I'm Dear Myrtle, your not so retired friend in genealogy. Happy family tree climbing, everybody. That's a wrap.